Hello, everybody. I'm Javen Miller, W8UA, and the topic of my presentation is Young Hams Having Fun with CW. Before we get too far, let me give a brief introduction. In 2018, I was licensed at the age of 12, and I later upgraded to General and then Amateur Extra in 2019. I'm currently a senior in high school, and I'm planning to go to college for computer science. I am an active CW operator and a contester, and because of that, I'm a member of various CW clubs. I'm CW Ops member number 2662, CFO member number 1057, and SKCC number 22104. I'm also a member of several contest clubs like the Society of Midwest Contesters and the Mad River Radio Club. I'm going to tell you guys how I learned CW. This is definitely not the way I recommend doing it, but I did start with this infamous chart right over here. Several people had told me that I should learn it as an auditory language, but I didn't listen to them and instead memorized the code with a series of dots and dashes, such as A as dot dash, B as dash dot dot dot, and so on. And it took me a long time to get out of using a mental lookup table. Once I got out of that and I finally started being able to instantly copy the characters, I was able to quickly increase my speed with the help of W1AW code practice files and also several different applications like Morse Runner, which is a great contest simulator. I also use G4FON Morse Trainer and ebook2CW, which basically translates a text file to a audio file made up of Morse code. And I also practice on the air in rag chews and contests, which we'll cover both those activities later in this presentation. As I already mentioned, there are many CW activities that I enjoy participating in. I enjoy contesting, high-speed rag chewing, portable operating field day, collecting code keys, and designing code keys. And I'm going to talk about each one of these activities, so let's get started. One thing I really enjoy doing is contesting. I am CW Ops member number 2662. And I love operating in the weekly CWTs, which are a 1-hour sprint that are put on by the CW Ops Club. There's 4 every week on Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening, and early Thursday morning our time. And I love operating these contests, these short sprints. This video I have attached on the slide actually can be found up on YouTube. I took this because I thought I'm utilizing the spectrum display here. I used to just tune with a big knob on my radio and look at the spectrum display on my 7300, but it wasn't until I started using the spectrum display within the N1MM logging software that my send pounds rate really started to go up pretty quickly. So instead of jumping from signal to signal using a tuning knob on a radio, you can simply click on each signal with a mouse, or you can hit a keystroke, shift up to go to the next signal up the band, or shift down to go to the station down in the band. And this is a really easy way to shift from station to station without having to take your hands off the keyboard. So let me play a little bit of this video here, and if you're interested, you can scan the QR code and view the rest of the video up on YouTube. One really cool thing about their spectrum display in the red boxes is once you've worked the station, the red box is no longer there, so you can't go back on the same station and try to work them and make it do. But it's really handy. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. I also enjoy portable operating. I have an entire station that I put in my backpack, and I love taking it out to the backyard or a park or a state park for state parks on the air or anywhere I can go. So I'm going to kind of tell you guys what I have in my backpack. I have an MFJ 9040 CW QRP transceiver. Great little radio, and it's a mono bander. You use very little battery. It's only 5 watts, but if you have a good enough antenna, it works. And also, I use a MFJ $15 straight key. I love this key because it's super cheap, and if I lose it or something happens to it while I'm out in the field, well, it's only 15 bucks, and I can buy another one. I also take out a 30-foot telescoping mast. It's made of fiberglass. You can see it right here. And I also take out a 40-meter end-fed half-wave wire or a hamstick dipole. Although I do like using the end-fed half-wave because it's full size, the hamstick dipole can definitely be set up in a smaller area if you need to. But you can see right here, I set up the end-fed half-wave in the park, and it really works quite well. I also enjoy QRQ rag chewing. There's some guys, WF3T, K3TF, N1KW, NJ1T, and a few others, rag chew on 7.018 megahertz every day. And it's a lot of fun to join these groups. You know, they're chatting back and forth at 50, sometimes even faster words per minute. And it's a lot of fun just to sit back and listen or even jump in as well. I do jump in and chat as time permits, although time and conditions haven't been so favorable lately, but I really love getting on these groups whenever I can. So let me play a short video of this of me monitoring the 7.018 megahertz group. And as always, if you ever need some high-speed code practice, definitely jump on these groups, 7018 megahertz, and they are more than willing to help you out and increase your speed. When I first got on, I was comfortably copying about 45 words per minute, but within about a month or so, I was comfortably copying the 50 word per minute code and was even copying a little bit faster. So unfortunately, I haven't stuck to it and kept on chatting with the groups, and I'm sure I could have gone faster if I would have asked one of the guys to speed up with me. But as I said, conditions aren't always good, and time, life has been getting a little bit busier, so I haven't been able to join as much as I would wish to. All right, let's go on to the next slide. I also enjoyed operating Field Day this past year. Field Day 2021 was a lot of fun. Especially after not being able to assemble with the club for Field Day 2020, I had to operate that from home, so it was great getting back and operating with the club again. I was able to set up and operate the VHF station. We had a 6-meter sideband NCW radio and a 2-meter FM radio. Unfortunately, we weren't set up for 6-meter FD8 because that's where most of the activity was, but I was able to make only one contact on 6 sideband and one contact on 6 CW during the Field Day weekend, but it was still fun setting it up and trying. And hopefully next year we'll find some more CW activity on 6 meters on the air. I also enjoyed operating 40-meter CW for a few hours. You can see right here is a picture of the station that I operated at. Right here is the 40-meter chair, and I enjoyed operating CW for a little while. Right here is the 80-meter chair. We had quite a few phone ops over there. Then here's a 10-meter station. We didn't make a whole ton of contacts on 10 until somebody brought a laptop with FT8 capability and started operating 10-meter FT8, and we got a ton of contacts on there then. And then here is the 20-meter radio. Right here was the 15-meter radio, and that actually was in a Go box, so it was pretty cool. seeing the go box the guy had put together and had brought to field day. And then right below, right in the back here, was a 6-meter station, and you can't see that in the photo, but this is basically the layout of our field day, and it was a ton of fun getting back and operating together again. I also enjoy operating with different keys. Although I had mentioned that when I joined the QRQ 50 word per minute groups on 40 meters, we do send with most of us do send with keyboards, but whenever I'm sending any slower code, I definitely do love using a key. So I've gotten a number of keys over the past 2 years I've been in CW. So let me show the different keys that I have. Right here is a Vibraplex bug that I picked up at an estate sale about a year ago. Right here is a Navy style flameproof key that I'm borrowing from a friend. And you can see right here, it was certified for use in 1943. Now these keys were used in submarines, so there's a really cool history behind some of these keys. Right over here is some Vibraplex paddles that I picked up at a ham fest about 2 years ago. You always leave those hooked up for a medium speed rag chew or some contest where I feel like sending some code instead of using the computer to send it. Right here is a straight key that I'm borrowing from a different friend that actually drew this up and had another friend machine it for him. So it's a pretty cool homemade key. And then right over here is another key that a different friend made for me. It is this guy is really into portable operations. So he lives in an apartment and doesn't have a permanent station set up there. So he has an entire QRP station that he fits in his coat pocket and goes out to a local park. So he makes tiny keys out of cut up credit cards and in gift cards, and gave me one of them. So you can see right against the corner how small this key is. It actually works. You'd be surprised. And I've also made several Morse code keys myself. When I learned how to use Fusion 360, which is an excellent 3D modeling software, my first design was a straight key. If you're a ham radio operator and a CW operator and you want to 3D print something, there's really not much better than a straight key. So I drew one up here, and you can see another picture in the modeling program. And then I printed it and used it for Straight Key Night 2020. I only made about 3 or 4 contacts, but it was a great way to spend New Year's Day and pound brass with a key you made yourself. That's pretty cool. And then I had joined the Straight Key Century Club, and I'd heard quite a bit of talk about people using side swipers. So I thought, hey, I'm really not in the position to be buying a side swiper right now. So I thought, I might as well design one and 3D print one. So I designed this right here, and I printed it and used it a few times. My fist is pretty bad, not too good, but I did make a short recording of me testing it and sending CQs. So I definitely do have a lot of work to get my fist a bit better. Let's go start this here. All right. And that is it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the presentation. If you have any questions, please drop me an email at javen@w8ua.com. Have a nice time at the Expo.